Hello YouTube, it's Ryan here with Hobbies of Man once again, and today we are doing December's TBR video. Now, it's going to be a little bit different from my usual TBR videos because one, it's going to be way larger than usual, at least as far as I can tell, remember. And two, it's actually going to be split up into three different sections where you're going to have the books that I want to finish, but I'm not in a rush to finish. And then we're going to have the books that I want to finish before the 15th of the month, and then the books that I'm gonna finish after the 15th of the month during the holiday season, because these are gonna be the books that I take to Mexico. So yeah, let's kind of jump in. This is going to be the last TBR video of this year, unless I decide to do a holiday season TBR video. I don't think I will. And I also want to let you guys know that this is going to be the beginning of the last stretch of this year, and I'm probably going to end up taking a break for the holidays around the 15th of December, maybe stretching it out to the 20th, but by the 20th for sure I'm going to take off the rest of the month off and the first couple days of January off as well. So I'm not going to have videos for about 2 weeks, maybe 3, depending on how I decide to do it. And I do have some end of the year videos that are going to come up, and part of those videos is why I want to kind of finish all of these books. So yeah, I'll let you guys know more stuff about you know, what's going on Twitter or on the community tab as we go through this. But I should have a video out every day this month up to the 15th, maybe even to the 20th if I manage to make enough content for that. But on the 15th, I leave where I am here at university. I go back to my house with my parents and my sister. And on the 17th, I go to Mexico to spend the holidays with my family over there. So definitely not going to have any time to make videos starting the 15th. So if I make enough videos before then, I should have videos up to the 20th. But if not, the 15th will be the last day that I have videos up this month. Tomorrow I'm going to have the rambling video. I don't know what I'm going to do for that video just yet, but I'm going to try to do something relatively interesting. And then on, I'm going to have a Breaker review, Doron review, a Comey Can't Communicate review, and then whatever else I can come up with at some point. In terms of like the end of the year videos, I'm going to have a light novel, best light novels I read this year video, best manga I read this year video, and a unhaul video at the end of the year, like the end of year unhaul video, which is supposed to be how I'm gonna get money to spend in Mexico, and possibly how to money to buy manga in January. So we'll see how it goes. I'll still have the usual Kaiju No Break chapter reviews going up until I go on break. During break, I'm not going to have any content up, so if there's any chapter reviews that happen to land on days when I'm on vacation, I'm just going to put them off to the first Saturday that I come back. So we'll see how that goes. Let's get into the actual video now. So let's start with the stuff that I'm reading that I don't really want to rush myself into reading. And I probably will be able to finish at least one of these in the next couple of days. And I will probably end up taking one of these with me to Mexico. So the first thing that I want to read that I'm not going to really rush is Watchmen. I was talking about this yesterday in my reading log. Watchmen is a series that is taking way too long to read because the paneling is so garbage. This 3x3 paneling that is so prevalent is so boring to read. It's like seriously draining my reading like desire, I guess. Like my want to read the series is drained immediately by the fact that this paneling is so bad, it's so boring. It's not necessarily bad, it's just like not very exciting, and so I don't end up wanting to read it. But slow and steady wins the race, so I'm going to continue to read this slow and steady, and hopefully I'll be able to finish it relatively soon. But who knows when I'll actually get around to it. So this is the first one that I want to read. I do want to read at least one issue, and maybe try to get to halfway through the omnibus at some point. But who knows if I'll manage to do that. So that's the first one. The second series the second book that I want to read that I don't really want to rush myself with is Kuroichi, right? This was given to me by The author, Olivia, I've talked about her for the last couple months in my TBR videos, and I do want to finish her book. I want to review her book and let her know how I felt about it, but it is just taking me a long time to read it because I'm not getting around to reading it consistently. And so I was trying to push myself to do it, but I was realizing that pushing myself to finish reading something isn't really helping me enjoy that time that I'm reading it. And so I'm going to not do that for that series because I do want to give it the best chance to be something that I enjoy. And so I'm going to allow myself to take my time with it. So yeah, then I want to finish Perry Rhodan. I actually probably will be finishing this up pretty soon. The book itself is only supposed to take about 5 hours, according to how Kindle calculates your reading speed and stuff like that. So I have about an hour's left of content in the book. It's about a third of the book in terms of content, in terms of pages, I guess. And I should be reading this pretty soon and finishing it pretty soon. So I'll probably have a review for it out this coming week. So yeah, I don't really have too much to say about that one. I already talked about it pretty much completely yesterday. So if you want to hear my thoughts on Perry Rhodan, go check out November's reading log. So yeah, then I want to finish Traumerei. I don't know how to say this word. It's in German. And again, about halfway through the book. Don't really want to rush myself with it. I do want to finish it quickly though. So I don't know how I'm going to balance those two conflicting ideas there. But I should probably be able to finish this before the middle of December. So I should have a review for it out pretty soon. This was definitely something that I should have read and finished during Halloween. But I didn't. So now I have to finish it in December. But either way, I am enjoying it. It's just the atmosphere vibe of it is really good, but the kind of content and aesthetic isn't necessarily my cup of tea, and so that's kind of make me slow down my reading speed for it because it doesn't really jive with what I look for in when I read. So we'll see how this goes. I am liking it though. I think Ina San Juan did a good job, so good for her. And yeah, I'll definitely get around to reviewing this here soon. So yeah, and then I want to start A World Without God. This was given to me by Moonquill, as you guys can see right there. I can't remember exactly when. I think it was at the end of October. And I want to read it. I just haven't gotten around to it because I haven't really felt the need to. So I want to at least start it, at least get half of the way through. It's only 210 pages, so 105 pages should not be that difficult to read. So hopefully I get to do this pretty soon. And kind of here, the last book that I kind of want to start that I don't really care to rush for is The Shadow Rising. I want to get to reading more Wheel of Time. This is the fourth Wheel of Time book. The fifth one would be The Fires of Heaven, as it says right back here. And watching the TV show has kind of rekindled my interest in the series, which I think is a good thing. And I want to continue to read this so I can kind of get more of an understanding of the characters so that I can do better when I talk about the TV show, which, by the way, are videos that are going to come the next couple days. Sadly, I was going to do a lot of TV watching and video planning during Thanksgiving, but I ended up not doing that because I rather spend time with my family, and we ended up watching Money Heist instead of The Wheel of Time until the day right before we left. So I haven't been able to do all of the planning for the Wheel of Time videos, but I should be getting to do that soon. I probably will not get through all of the Wheel of Time episodes that release before I go on break, but that's okay. I'll probably get through the first three, or at least I hope to get through the first three, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Shadow Rising, I want to read it. I don't know what this one is about because this is the one I haven't read before. The first three books in the Wheel of Time series I've read at least twice. I think The Eye of the World I actually ended up reading 3 times because I listened to audiobook once and I thought it was really good. The audiobook is pretty amazing actually. And yeah, there you go. That's all I had to say about the Shadow Rising, which actually wasn't about the Shadow Rising. So we'll see whatever that means, right? And yeah, that's the first section of books that I wanted to discuss. These would be the ones that I'm not rushing to finish. Now let's look at the ones that I am kind of rushing to finish because I want to finish reading all of these before the end of the year so that one, I can add them to my lists of best light novels and best manga, and also because I want to finish my TBR. I only have all of the books that I'm mentioning today, plus 2 or 3 other books in my TBR at home, in my TBR shelf at home, that I would need to finish in order to be completely done with my TBR shelf and my TBR purchases for this year, right? So if I manage to do that, next year is going to be pretty interesting because I'll be picking up stuff as I start reading it, and that might be a different kind of more interesting kind of way of looking at stuff. But of course, I do have books that I bought for my TBR that are in Mexico right now, so I'll probably end up having to pick those up. But most of those are completed series, so I should be able to just read them in one go and finish them relatively quickly. So I don't think I'll ever really have a kind of giant collection of stuff to read like I did before anymore. So I'm looking forward to that, but who knows, I might end up spending a lot of money and buying too much stuff. So let's actually get into this next section here. So first, I want to read this first volume of Buddha. I don't really have too much of an understanding about what this series is about. I think it's a retelling of the history of Buddha, and it's done by Osamu Tezuka, and I want to read more Osamu Tezuka. I think this is the first Osamu Tezuka book that I've picked up in my life. My buddy, my roommate Tor, actually his name is Tor, but it's like the Norse character. He read this and he said it was good. I lent it to him because he was interested in this story, because he's kind of interested in Buddhism, and he thought it was fun. So I probably will enjoy it as well. So I'm looking forward to that. And also my buddy Darth Penn, who hasn't released videos in like 6 months, but is still alive, I promise. He also read Buddha and he says that it's pretty good. So we'll see how I like it. But yeah, this shouldn't be a very difficult read. It's only about 400 pages. And Tezuka probably is not a very kind of word-heavy kind of guy. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, this is the first book that I want to rush to finish, I guess. So yeah. Okay, the second book in this list to finish my TBR is Vinland Saga Omnibus 4. I love the first 3. And I can't wait to get into this. I really want to see how Askeladd kind of deals with these revelations that are coming up about him being kind of not necessarily just a Viking, and I think that's pretty interesting. And yeah, I really love this color. I think this kind of like burnt gold color is really nice, varnished gold color. I don't know what to call it, but I really like it. I think it's really, really good. So we'll see how this ends up going. And I will eventually have a new review for Vinland Saga, but I kind of want to move away from these individual volume kind of reviews that I'm doing, or like grouping reviews that I'm doing. I kind of want to do first impressions, a general kind of idea some way through my reading, and then a final kind of like series review, or work on reviewing things by arc. So I don't know when I'll get around to reviewing Vinland Saga one more time, but I definitely have a review for the first volume. So yeah, Vinland Saga book 4, there you go. Then I want to read these 2 volumes of Freezing that I have, mostly because these are probably going to be where I make the most money for Christmas if I sell them, but I want to read them beforehand and actually decide if I actually want to get rid of them or if I want to keep them and try to collect the series. Either way, I probably will end up selling these anyways, even if I sell them now or later, because it's hard to find these books, which is partially why I bought them when I got the chance to find them somewhere. So we'll see how that goes, but I don't really know too much about Freezing. It looks to be Korean based on the names of the author and the illustrator, but I'm not too sure. The art in it is pretty interesting though. I like it, so I might kind of have a desire to keep them, but probably it will ultimately end up selling them anyways. But I still want to read them and review them, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Freezing 1 through 4, there you go. Okay, then I want to read Lady Mechanica, Volume 1. This is the second edition of this that I've owned, because the first one was kind of damaged, and In Stock Trades was nice enough to send me another copy. So here you go. It doesn't have that bang that the other version I had right here, and it looks really nice. I really like this. I think the art and concept of it is pretty interesting, so we'll see how it goes. Lady Mechanica seems pretty interesting, and I'm pretty excited to read it. So yeah, there you go. Then I want to read this copy of Venom Volume 1. This is the Donny Cates run that my buddy Josh from, what was it, Josh's Comic Bin / Shonen Trash / Josh, I think that's his Instagram, bought me for Christmas. I really do appreciate it, Josh. And I know I already told you this like 3 times, but thank you for the book. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I hope to read it. I hope I enjoy it. And I'm really looking forward to it because I love the artwork here. It seems very, very cool. And of course, Donny Cates is supposed to be a very interesting kind of writer. So we'll see how it goes. Also, I think that's the first Marvel trade paperback I own. Everything I own, I'm pretty sure, is either DC or Image. So that's pretty cool. Then I want to read, let's see, Rose King, Volume 2, Requiem of the Rose King. I like the first one a lot. I want to see if I like this one as much. And I want to continue collecting the series. This was actually one of the series I wanted to focus on in the second half of the year in terms of collecting. And I probably will kind of focus on this one in the early months of next year. But I don't know. I actually ended up kind of not really following my my collecting goal system that I had set up. But hopefully next year I do better with that. So we'll see how it goes. But Requiem of the Rose King, there you go. Volume 2. Don't really have too much more to say about it. I really like these purple colors. I think purple covers definitely are like what I really end up liking. I think I love Vinland Saga Volume 2 and one of the Eden Zero volumes that are purple, and of course that one, and Mashal 3. So I think purple covers are really the way to go for me. So yeah, let's move on. Let's look at Monster Girl Doctor 2 and 3. These are light novels. These are really easy to read, and the story is not being very complex. It's actually a good thing because I can finish these quickly and kind of put them in my shelf and review them relatively fast. So we'll see when I end up being able to review these. Honestly, this is a very kind of daunting task. I don't know if I'll actually be able to do it, but I am willing to try. So we'll see if I manage to finish everything. But I really liked the first one. I thought the kind of interesting world building was really good, and so I'm hoping to see that continuing these two, and kind of the dissonance between the really hardcore ecchi elements and the kind of very interesting world building kind of disappear and smooth out as we kind of figure out which path to take here. But based on the artwork alone, we're probably going to have a lot of that because well, they make very hot monster girls for this series. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, Monster Girl Doctor, pretty fun. I heard that people didn't like the anime. I don't know. This is heavily inspired by Monster Musume, and a lot of people like Monster Musume, so I don't see why you wouldn't like this. But we'll see. So yeah. Let's see. Next, I want to read Gleipnir, volumes 1 and 2. I'm pretty sure this series is about to end pretty soon, or it has already ended. It's like at 11 volumes right now. I'm not exactly sure, but I do want to collect this going forward, and hopefully I'll be able to kind of focus on collecting this next year. I think that's really where I want to take my collecting journey through, and it's more of a kind of check out new releases and then collect stuff that I'm really, really interested in, and kind of finish off those series before I move into anything too crazy, afterwards. But I really am interested in Gleipnir. I really love the first volume, and I can't wait to get into this following volume here, volume 2. So yeah, also I think the concept is really interesting. A dude that is a mascot suit and a girl that is kind of insane and kind of wants to kind of go on this journey to find her sister, if I remember correctly. I think that's what happened. I can't remember. I definitely want to reread the first volume. So yeah, there you go, Gleipnir 1 and 2. Okay, next, Notorious Talker, runs the world's greatest clan, volume 1. Recently bought this, want to check it out, really interested in seeing how it goes. I like this like Kirito guy with a gun. I think that's pretty interesting, and I really like her character design. So mostly that's why I picked this up. So we'll see if it's any good. Again, it's a light novel, so it's pretty easy to read, and I really shouldn't have a problem getting around to this as much like getting around to finishing it as long as I get around to starting it. So we'll see if I manage to do that. So yeah, this is the second to last book in this kind of grouping. So we'll see if I manage to finish it. So the last book in this kind of grouping here of finishing up all of the kind of hanging books that I have in order to decide what I want to sell, what I want to keep, and kind of finish off my TBR is Urusei Yatsura Volume 1, or Book 1, Omnibus 1, I'm not sure. This collects 1 and 2 of the series, and it's by Rumiko Takahashi, very classic, very well-known mangaka. She did Inuyasha and Ranma Half, according to what it says right there, and I'm pretty sure this is one of her earliest long-running series, and I really wanted to check it out because I really like this character here. I think her name is Loom, and from what I understand, she is kind of like the character that kind of defines a lot of these ecchi heroines from, you know, later series like To Love Ru and stuff like that. So I really want to see how she kind of functions and how she is as a character, and see if I can kind of spot her influence in later characters that I like in other series. So we'll see how it goes. But as far as I can tell, this is about a boy who ends up kind of meeting this girl and kind of ends up embroiled in some weird shenanigans, and that's basically all I know about it. I don't think the artwork is really that amazing, but it's not horrible. I think it has a very nice charm to it, and I'm looking forward to reading this and enjoying this. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's Urusei Yatsura. So there you go. That's the last in this grouping of books, which would be the TBR books that I want to finish, so that I don't have a TBR shelf anymore. So let's get on to the books that I want to read when I'm on vacation, when I'm in Mexico. So let's start with the 3 physical books that I want to take with me, because last time I went to Mexico during the summer, I actually ended up taking a lot of books with me, and it wasn't bad. I actually enjoyed it, and I didn't really have a tough time making sure that they stayed nice and safe, and didn't have any kind of blemishes on them, and scuff marks or anything like that. But it's kind of annoying to have to carry a giant box of books that is actually quite heavy with me over, you know, a long period of time, especially when I'm not going to stay in one place. I'm going to have to move around a few times. So what I want to do instead this time is take a few books, a very kind of select grouping of books, and then take my iPad with me, which should have access to the Shonen Jump app and Bookwalker, and so I'll have the ability to read a lot of digital stuff, right? So let's start with the 3 physical books that I want to take with me. Number 1 being the Saga of Tanya the Evil. Now, this is the first book. I probably won't get around to finishing the second book either, only this one. So that means that the Saga of Tanya the Evil, Volume 2, is going to be the only book left on my TBR shelf if I end up managing to finish everything that I have in this list. So that'll be pretty interesting, but hopefully I enjoy this book enough to read the second one. So we'll see. I really am interested in this series. It seems very interesting and very cool. However, I understand that the writing of it is kind of complex and actually a little bit repetitive, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing if this is a bad thing or a good thing for me. So we'll see, but that's book 1 on this segment of books. The second one is Solo Leveling Volume 3. Not much to say that I haven't said already, but basically I want to read this because I think it's kind of fun to have read Volume 2 or Volume 1. I can't remember what volume was during July when I went to Mexico this last time, and also reading it again this current time that I'm going. So I think that's pretty interesting. It's kind of a little bit poetic repetitiveness, poetic pattern there. But also because I just like the series, and I like that it doesn't have pictures, and so I don't have to be judged if anyone decides to open my books and see all of the weird pictures that are in them. So we'll see, but yeah. So there you go, Solo Leveling Volume 3. Not much to say about that one that I haven't said already, like I said. Next is Reign of the Seven Spellblades. Now, Reign of the Seven Spellblades has a lot of similarities to Solo Leveling in the sense that it has it's a book that I took with me this past summer that I want to take with me this winter, and It's also because it's a pretty interesting book, a pretty interesting series. I might be able to actually end up buying volume 4 as well sometime in the next couple of weeks. So I might end up taking that one with me as well, but I very much doubt that I end up being able to pick it up anytime soon. So yeah, nothing much to say about this one. It's basically Harry Potter with a Japanese twist, and also with a different kind of outlook on how magic works and how deeply insidious and kind of harsh magic can be. And I really appreciate it and like it. And hopefully no one stares at this cover too much, because the boobies might distract some of my cousins. So we'll see. But let's move on to the digital aspects here. The 3 digital books / series that I want to read while I'm in Mexico are first, the Dr. Stone Truth of Petrification saga, which is the penultimate saga. It's the one that just finished recently with chapter 212, if I remember correctly. And it is also the longest saga in Dr. Stone. It's about 100 chapters. And I want to read that one because it's 100 chapters of content. I can do a review for it when I come back. And it's also actually quite interesting because it's going to be a series that I'll be close to finishing, and then I'll actually end up being able to catch up to the current release pretty soon after that. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's pretty exciting to be able to get close to finishing a series, right? So yeah, that's the first digital copy that I want to take with me. I'll read this on the Shonen Jump app, obviously. And in a similar vein, I want to read another One Piece saga. So this time I want to look at the Summit War saga. Again, it's over 100 chapters long, so it's going to be a lot of content that I can enjoy and kind of appreciate over my time in Mexico, over when I don't really have anything to do, which is actually pretty often. So that'll be pretty nice. Then the last thing I want to check out is JoJo's Part 2. This is only 70 chapters, but again, it's relatively long. And actually, I might end up actually starting to buy the Mexican edition of the JoJoniums, or the JoJo Collector's Editions, because I think those are not nicer than the hardcovers that we have here in the US, but they're definitely more affordable, and they also end up being kind of easier to store because they actually end up being quite smaller. So I think that's pretty cool. Also, they end up being pretty consistent across all of the editions, unlike the American ones, which were parts 1 through 3 are JoJoniums. Part 4 is this kind of like JoJonium looking kind of edition, and then the 5th part is also kind of like that. And so they're not very continuous, even if they look similar, and I don't really like that. So going with the Mexican editions that are already ahead of the American ones and are also kind of more consistent across each other is a better addition for me personally. So I might end up picking those up if I like Part 2, but I did like Part 1, so I don't know if I'll like Part 2, but we'll see how that goes. And I think that's actually the last series that I want to talk about on my TBR. There's more things that I would like to read. I have a lot of stuff on Bookwalker that I want to pick up, like Sweat and Soap Volumes 2 and 3, or Space Brothers, or Dungeon Busters 2, or Mushoku Tensei. Like, I have a lot of stuff on Bookwalker that I could read, but I think that this is enough. There's a lot of books. I very much doubt I'll be able to finish all of them, but I do want to try my best to actually get around to finishing them all. So we'll see if I manage to do it. But yeah, that's all I have planned for this month. It's a lot more than usual, but that's because there's holidays, and when there's holidays, I literally do nothing but read. So we'll see how this goes. And if you guys have any TBR plans for this Christmas and for this holiday season, please let me know down below. Let me know what you guys thought about the video, and let me know what you guys are planning to read this month. So yeah, I really appreciate everyone that watches, and I really want to thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey this year, and for kind of just being part of the community. If you guys are, the people that kind of end up commenting pretty often, and even if you're not someone that comments pretty often and you still watch my videos, I really do appreciate you for watching me make all of these videos and kind of boringly take you through this journey of manga reading. So yeah, I really appreciate everyone that watches. Thank you guys very much. I really do appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart, even if I say it a lot and so it loses a bit of its meaning. I just I'm really happy with this journey that I'm taking here on YouTube. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and see you guys later.